No problem.
I better put this thing up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be about in a 2-minute delay till we get some more chairs up. So I don't want anybody to think that, we're delaying on purpose or whatever. And thank you very much for coming. Almost a standing room only crowd tonight. No, you're fine. No.
We just keep telling you.
Anybody wants to play chair, you can have it.
There you go.
There you go. I still like Vegas.
We should get slightly higher. That way you have like a two effect here.
Hey, Ben, these three sections.
If you want to run back to her office, grab a big green citation, or wherever you left it.
Pretty sure she's a disgruntled employee.
Corby, everybody's good.
Was there makeup? Acceptable. Was there makeup? Acceptable.
Those Collision and Dubois. When it matters most, they do magic.
Regular session of the Dubois City Council. The order, if you please rise. Oh, and while you're up, we're gonna have a roll call, so go ahead, just stay up. As soon as Corby brings me
Those Collision and
the
Dubois. When it matters most, they do magic.
regular session of the, let's do the pledge first, then we'll have a roll call after. Thank you very much. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please stand, please, then we'll have one more time for a moment of silence, pledge allegiance, and stay with us, please. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please stand, please, dear Lord, one more time. May the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Please be with the Sullivan family as they celebrated the passing of dear Mark's mother, Ruth. May the words of our mouth in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. pleased to be with the Sullivan family. May I have the roll call,
They
please?
celebrated the passage of
Here.
Mark's mother.
Here.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Here. Under announcement, there's a couple things. Ladies and gentlemen, if I seem to be going a little slower, Corby is working on a new program that will be taking the notes. So I will be trying my best to slow down a couple things, to try to be more articulate and try not to make identity mistakes as to who makes a motion and who seconds. So, thank you very much. So I will be, next on our agenda is the public comments. Again, try to be asked to speak for 3 minutes. Try not to, Courtney will have identity mistakes as to who makes a motion and who seconds. So, but I'll kind of just say, hey, heads up, you're into like 30 seconds, okay? I'll try not to interrupt the flow of the conversation. And be respectful, please. Yellow card, thank you. Which you hold for that. So, let's take a little look here and see who's on the agenda.
You're into like 30 seconds.
On the agenda items, I see nobody that wants to speak, but we do have people that want to speak on comment. Thank you.
Which you hold for that.
So, do I have that come here and see who's on the agenda? On the agenda items, I see nobody that wants to speak, but we do have people that want to speak on comment. Thank you. So, do I have, do you want to speak pre-meeting or post-meeting? On the agenda items, speak now. I see nobody that wants to speak. Yes. So, if non-agenda is at the end. How's that? That's fine. So I have your name on the list. Thank you very much. Holy Moses, listen, try to, non-agenda. Under proclamations, the proclamation Day of Hope, I will be attending a ceremony at the middle school and high school to talk about Day of Hope. The proclamation Day of Hope, I do not believe we need to have a motion. I will be attending a ceremony at the middle school and high school. Correct. To talk about, under special presentations, I would like to call on Jody August, the Executive Director of the Greater Dubois Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development. Jody. Under special presentations, I would like to call on Jody August, the Executive Director of the Greater Dubois Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development. Jody. Under special presentations, I would like to call on Jody August.
So I do want to thank city council members for attending the Business Bash Saturday night. It was a wonderful event celebration honoring amazing businesses and people in our community. My goal this year is to educate our serving municipalities better so that there's a clear understanding of what our Chamber of Commerce is and what we do. There are so many confusing things about the Chamber of Commerce. For instance, the word "commerce," it makes us sound like we're a government office and that we're federally funded or that we're wealthy. But we're far from wealthy, although we do take pride in running so efficiently that people think we are. Other funny things that happen to me in my role at the Chamber is on the street I've been called Miss Dubois. That kind of makes me chuckle. I've had people in our community say that they'll vote for me in the next election. You won't find me on the ballot as I live in Jefferson County, but it always gives me a little laugh. Some think that my office runs the city, or I've had people in our community say that no matter what, I'm glad that our chamber has a great working relationship with all city employees. It helps to know that what each one of you do, as my office fields frequent phone calls about the electronic sign. There's 14 local municipalities that encompass Brockway, False Creek, Reynoldsville, Sykesville, Brady, Dubois, and into Penfield. That's why we're the Greater Dubois Chamber. But it's confusing because Dubois is the focal point of our organization's name. Our chamber supports achievements too. Our chamber is fully supported by membership dollars and self-revenue generating. Without local business support, there would be no chamber of commerce in our community. Like many small rural chambers, we're only eligible for grants when operating a specific program or special project. We don't receive county funds, and the only municipal funding that we receive is by paying business members. In addition to chamber services, we operate the Dubois Area Economic Development Corporation. Through DAEDC, we provide lending opportunities to help new and existing businesses grow, purchase equipment, and expand operations. We also manage the Nancy Mick Scholarship Fund, which supports local high school students through Pennsylvania Free Enterprise Week. That's a business simulation program that encourages entrepreneurship and workforce readiness. Communication is a major part of our chamber. We connect businesses and community through weekly email blasts, monthly newsletters, social media, text messaging, bi-weekly podcasts, which will soon be in-person videos, and we work very closely with our local media. Our goal is to keep businesses informed, visible, and connected. We embrace technology and we like to try new things. Our chamber organization is supported by a governing board of directors that are all business owners and leaders in our community. To ensure we're offering the right services within our chamber, our board of directors is diversified and includes businesses of all sizes. Membership with us works best when businesses stay engaged. Every employee of a business member or organization is considered a chamber member. The city of Dubois is a chamber member, so every employee of the city can attend all of our events. When businesses participate and stay connected, we can better promote them and strengthen them in our local economy. We wish that all businesses in our service area were members, but we understand that that's a choice for each business. Our Chamber of Commerce works closely with local tourism agencies, other economic development agencies, and I personally serve on 2 of our civic clubs in our community and sit on several boards. By volunteering my time to these things, it helps me be better connected in our community, to know where the best resources are. My time is something I know I can give, and to be connected is even better. I love my role at the Chamber of Commerce, and I love being a part of our community. I'm optimistic that this year we're going to see new business and opportunities for growth. In closing, owning and operating a business is hard, and it's getting harder every day. We encourage best practices like having a clear mission, consistent branding, strong storytelling, a focus on delivering value. Customer service should remain a top priority. The best marketing you can have is a loyal customer spreading the word about how amazing your business is. Our Dubois Chamber is here to support those efforts and help local businesses succeed. We've been serving our area for 81 years, and I hope to be serving for another 81 more. For anyone who has any questions about our chamber organization, the Dubois Area Economic Development Corporation, or to learn more about business member benefits, I'm happy to answer any of them. I brought with me tonight quite a bit of information, and I'll stick around after this meeting ends. So thank you all for your time.
Before you sit down, ladies and gentlemen, Jody and the chamber presented the city of Dubois a photograph of the ribbon cutting at the chamber gala, which was very nice. And also, Jody, through the work of Senator Wayne Langerholt Jr., the 35th Senatorial District, dated January 31st, 2026, a certificate of recognition by the Senate of Pennsylvania is proud to present the certificate to the city of Dubois upon the consolidation with Sandy Township. That was absolutely wonderful, and thank you very much, Jody, for recognizing us. Yes. Moving on to the policies, please. And I'll turn it over to Ben. The first policy is on fluoride.
Before getting into the fluoride, I did want to highlight the reason that we invited Jody to present tonight. This council is understandably very interested in economic development, supportive of it. And as a consequence, so that we all know whose role is what, we're inviting a series of presenters from the Department of Community and Economic Development to the RDA at some point, to the Greater Dubois Chamber of Commerce and the Downtown Dubois Initiative in order to tell us what they do. And so, thank you, Jody, for being the first. I appreciate that. I just wanted to kind of introduce why we're having that happen. I think the next one would be, I think is DCED on the 4th, so in a month. All right, moving on fluoride. At the last meeting, one of your members brought up the question as to whether or not the city should continue the policy of adding fluoride to the water. And there, we thought in the moment that it had to be voted on by referendum to have it removed. After subsequent research, it does not look like that is the case. It is still a process, but a less involved process, whereby we have a public hearing and do a lot of notification, but essentially it is just a major permit modification with the Department of Environmental Protection. And so since the last meeting, HRG volunteered, Jeff Garrigan kind of volunteered to support a little bit of research into that. Scott Farrell has called other communities that have recently done it. In fact, there's quite a few communities, it seems, that are removing fluoride. And then we wrote, I think, a 5-page memo or something like that, which is in your packet. Essentially, it boils down to, there's evidence that fluoride helps with bones, especially teeth, right? And that's why it was added in the past. There are usually community members that are supportive of removing it because essentially you get the fluoride from, if you choose to have the fluoride, you can get it from other ways, such as toothpaste, right? And so there are people in the community that are pushing to have it removed from the water because they're essentially saying, if I want it, I can get it another way. Don't put it in my water and force me to have it. And so it's often a hot button topic. So by raising it in the public, I think we've probably kicked a bit of a hornet's nest because there are people that are very much for it, very much against it. And so we want to know how you want to proceed at this point, given the memo and such that we've provided. The next step would essentially be to move towards removing it via the permit. There are benefits, by the way, to the city. Specifically, it does cost us something to have those chemicals, and not just the literal dollars that it costs to buy the chemical, but also the risk and the added permitting and such that goes into having it. I mean, it is a toxic chemical that adds a level of risk for us handling it. So as a consequence, I think the city team is certainly fine with removing it. But it's a policy decision that the board is going to need to make whether they want to move forward with that or not. So with that, I guess I'll ask the board, what do you want us to do? Should we move forward with the process of decommissioning the fluoridization, or would you like to have public hearings that are independent? What would you like us to do?
Does Aqua have, I don't think Aqua has adds fluoride, the Treasure Lake water, does it?
I don't know.
I don't believe so.
No, so it really, if they don't have it, I see no problem with us not having fluoride.
Okay. Other thoughts?
Any other comments?
I'd make the motion, we move forward.
Bill makes a motion that we move forward with the removal of
Question.
fluoride.
Question.
Barry, question.
Is the water, not a water authority, where you have a water, committee? Isn't there a wa, you do not have a water authority, correct?
We do not, there,
Okay.
the,
Okay, we have a board of, you know, I am a trainee here, a person, so I'm not sure of the names of the groups. There's a water committee or a water,
there's a watershed
Board,
committee.
water.
The watershed committee's responsibility has to do with
has nothing to
advising.
do with this.
Yeah,
Not
it's-
need presented to that first.
No,
or any
yeah,
time.
there's,
Okay,
there would be no reason to
That
have
was
it
my
go before
question.
anyone other than the board.
thank you.
This board.
The watershed committee.
Motion by Bill to move forward with this, and seconded by Mark. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
I would like to highlight the fact that by moving forward, that essentially you're saying, go ahead and draft up the permit, move forward with, you know, studies and anything that needs to happen related to it. So understand to the public, that does not mean that tomorrow we're gonna stop editing, right? This is probably a 2 or 3 month process before, at least. At least.
About 6 months.
Yeah, probably 6 months before we could actually get approvals to stop doing it. So this is not the last chance for public comment. This is not the last time that we're gonna have to vote on it. This is just, yeah, continue on, with the, you know, with the legal expense and that sort of thing with, deregulating it.
Scott, does our water have any naturally occurring fluoride in it?
No, not that I'm aware of. But the water plant crew is definitely in favor of removing the fluoride due to the hazard of it.
Yeah, and I do want to stress that, Ben, that, you know, this is essentially a preliminary, we're authorized, can you hear me?
Yep, too well.
You know, this is the council authorizing administration, to take further steps towards removal of fluoridation. It's not a final vote to remove fluoride from the water. And I do think that generally I would recommend for anything like this, that gets people up in arms and you know, both sides of the issue, I would recommend before final approval to do some sort of public hearing, just so people have an opportunity to come out and say their thoughts on it, so.
Anybody else? I know if you are somewhere near the age I am, it was a big deal back in the day to add fluoride.
Dennis, like,
And the, you know, I can still remember the day our dentist said, hallelujah, you know, you'll never have a cavity. Well, that was 100% wrong on my part. So, and those of you that are not my age, I feel bad for you. Moving on to the city engineer RFP 2026.
So the city put out a request for proposal for professional services. Very technically, it's a professional service, so we don't need to like go with the lowest bidder or anything like that. Your responsibility is to pick the best fit. We received back 6 proposals last week, and they are in your packet and readily available on the website. I think at this point, I would like to ask Mr. Farrell how he'd like to proceed. Generally speaking, I think we should interview at least the top 2 or 3. Our engineer tech and public works director have both reviewed the proposal, and I presume have a recommendation on who we should interview.
Well, I gave my 3 to Dave to review with you. I don't know if your 3 matched my 3.
I didn't get them, so.
I apologize, but we did pass it up to, we were looking at 3
Okay.
interview, so you had a chance to have a variety.
And those, so I think at this point, what we would recommend is maybe 1 or 2 of those from council join, let's say, the manager and public works director and engineer techs to create a ad hoc committee of 5 to conduct those 2 or 3 interviews, I guess we'll say, if they end up agreeing. And schedule those and come back at a future meeting with a recommendation to actually accept one of the RFP responses. Does that sound reasonable? And by the way, you don't have to if you don't want to, but.
I'll ask the council, is there any council members that would like to volunteer?
I would like to volunteer.
Mark would like to volunteer.
Barry, I wouldn't.
Bill would like to volunteer.
I think- Did you
Anybody
say
else?
Bill or did you say Barry?
No, you don't wait.
Okay.
That's what he said. He'll say-
Hey, I even got their names right so far. So Mark and Bill are the volunteers for the ad hoc committee.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and schedule sometime in the next couple of weeks and aim for, well, we'll get it back on the agenda whenever we can, whether that's the 18th or the 4th or whatever. And by the way, the purpose of having a city engineer by contract is to handle, like, a high-level overarching, all things pertaining to engineering and then we have somebody that we can just ask any engineering thing. Whereas right now, we contract out for specific projects, and that wouldn't go away. Like, we could still contract specific engineering firms for any particular project. But we have a criteria of kind of somebody that we're looking for that we can go to on the little things and the big things without going out to RFP every time. And one of the ways in which we are trying to save the city money is by having this engineer tech, Dave Orr, is relatively new to the team. I think he joined maybe 9 months ago. It was probably been almost a year. The purpose of that position is to handle the stuff that you don't need a PE license in order to handle. So he's doing some GIS mapping, some, a lot of the pre-engineering stuff so that we can give it to the engineer, make it very efficient, and save some money in that regard. But we still need that PE license on a lot of things, so that's what the purpose of having this kind of contract in place would be. We'll get back to you about, we'll get with you two and get schedules and start scheduling those interviews. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Moving on to unfinished business, appointment to the planning commission, Mr. Mike Hoffer for the term ending December 31st, 2028. May I have a motion?
So move.
Motion by Bill, second by Shirley, to approve Mr. Mike Hoffer for the planning commission, term ending December 31st, 2028. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I want to abstain. Nothing against the candidate, but I feel I should abstain.
Okay. Good. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Under new business, we have a resolution in front of us for vehicle use policy.
I'm sorry. We were having a side discussion because an abstention requires a reason as to what the conflict of interest is. So, but anyway, so I didn't hear your question.
We're ready to go to new business.
Okay, new business, item number 1, vehicle use policy. This would be a resolution that essentially high level enables us to enforce rules related to usage of all city vehicles. So that would cover public works, anyone that drives a vehicle, fire department, et cetera.
Okay. Looking for a motion to approve resolution 2026-023.
So move.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Shirley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion passed. Auto pay authorization policy.
So we get a lot of bills that are routine, whether they're monthly or quarterly. Think electric bills, insurance bills, that kind of things that are already budgeted, things that are routine, and we would like the authorization to simply have the manager and/or in some cases fiscal officers simply sign off on them, pay them, credit card, ACH, et cetera. This does not mean that those are never seen by council, but it does mean that we're not waiting on council. So I think the resolution before you, number 25, is simply that. It's simply saying these are the regular vendors that we pay regularly and don't want to have to come to you for approval to cut a check.
Looking for a motion for auto pay authorization policy, resolution 2026-25.
Very
I
question.
move.
Motion by Mike,
Barry.
seconded by Dick.
Question,
Bill, question.
just one question. We will still get the report in our packets, correct?
Just
It
like
might
you
not
just
be
did.
the first meeting, but it'll be the second meeting of the
Yeah.
month. Yeah. as
Right,
long
so
as
the
we keep-
transaction will already happen, but you will
Yeah.
get a list of what happened.
Yeah, yeah,
And if something's about to go over budget or something like that, we would still need to bring it back.
yeah.
Thank you, Bill. That's a very good point. So we have a motion by Mike and seconded by Dick to auto pay authorization. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed. NOI for Coke Hill.
Mr. Farrell.
Yeah, we have the bids all come back, and we would like to have council authorize notice of intent to award the CNR directional boring for the unit price of $942,605 for the base bid on the Coke Hill Waterline project.
Did HOG want to add anything?
Yeah, the bids were, I think we received 8 to 10
8.
bids, yeah, so they were very competitive. This CNR Directional was the apparent low bidder. I have personally worked with them, our company has worked with them, so they're reputable. The one thing Scott forgot to add is that's conditioned upon CDBG approval. This is a CDBG project, so there's some approval processes that I'm working with Joe with right now, so just to keep it moving, we don't want to wait till the next meeting, we're just waiting for their approval, and I would recommend that the board consider this.
Thank you.
Very quick.
Discussion by any board members. Bill?
Scott, where did this fall for projection of total?
It come back in a little lower than we thought it was gonna be, so
Okay.
we're real happy with the price we received on a couple of them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions by the board members? I'm looking for a motion to approve the awarding of CNR Directional Boring LLC with Coke Hill Area Water Distribution and Main Replacement Contract.
So move.
Motion by Bill, second by Mike. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Interagency cooperation agreement with Northwest Central Task Force.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, the fire department has a water rescue team as one of their assets, and as such, that team is recognized by the Northwest Central PA Task Force and is deployable across the state and potentially across the nation should it ever be called upon. And part of that requirement is a memorandum of understanding that they are covered by the city's workman's comp insurance on their deployments. This is the exact same MOU that was signed by Sandy Township when the team was put into effect years ago and updated as it was needed along the way. Pretty much the only thing we changed was the name on from Sandy Township to the city of Dubois. The water rescue chief is in attendance here. If you have anything further than that, he briefed me on that much of the MOU. So Mr. Smith is in charge of the water rescue team currently.
Mr. Smith, do you have any comments you'd like to add?
Only that it's a very good asset for the city. It's a highly trained group. It consists of a group of individuals from Kerwinsville and Dubois. We opened it up. The 6 counties that we do are Clearfield, Cameron, Elk, Clarion, Jefferson, McKean, and when we opened it up to all those counties, we got Sandy Township at the time and Station 8, Kerwinsville. So we have assets that are stored at Clearfield County 911, and over the years since we've been in existence, we've received grants from the Northwest Central Pennsylvania Task Force, and we have built those assets up with the idea that should we get a major event across the state or across the nation flood-wise, we would not have to remove boats and other types of rescue equipment from the city or from Kerwinsville. And we've tried to build our membership up to the point that if we would be deployed out of state or out of our geographic region, that we would still be able to maintain the safety of our citizenry. So, the amount of training is very intense. Swiftwater's a bit of a misnomer in so much that Swiftwater recognizes the highest level of training, but the group also has training in ice rescue, still water, variety of line system rescues and those sort of things. It's a very involved thing, and the community should be proud of it. Now that we're all one city, we're expecting to get more members through the old Dubois Fire Department, along with the old Sandy Township Fire Department members that are already there. And we would appreciate your support of the memorandum of understanding.
Any questions for Dana?
No, actually, I got a question for Lisa and Ben. When we combined all the insurances and that, we had it on the old township policy. Was it covered under our new policy going forward? So we don't, get something from the insurance company saying, hey, we're not covering it.
Right now, I am taking this MOU and composing an email to them to
Okay.
make sure, because I do believe we had a discussion about this, but I just wanna make sure, so I don't have a solid answer for you right now, but I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And Chief, are you looking for a signature on that tonight?
No, I mean, obviously, you've got some research to do, and quite frankly, to put it into effect, after Chief Mitchell signs it, after, I believe, probably you, Mayor, would sign it, then we have to get each of the team members to sign it as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So are we looking for a motion to pass this MOU?
Yeah, I think you should go ahead and do that.
Looking for a motion to pass MOU for the Swiftwater Rescue Team 2026-02-03.
So move.
Motion second, or motion by Mark, seconded by Dick. Any discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you very much. Motion passed. The next one is Penn State University Showers Field Agreement.
The next three, I think you could take together. We're asking for authorization, like essentially pre-authorization for the manager to sign off on 3 agreements. The first is with Penn State. This is to rent Showers Field for approximately $25,000. Renew a Showers Field rental agreement with the school district, and then enter into an intergovernmental cooperative agreement between the school district and the county for tax collection. The first 2 are really pretty straightforward. I will highlight that I brought a draft back to the previous joint board about the tax collection, in the fall. We'd be moving to a slightly different model than what this old city did. But it's pretty much revenue neutral for the school district and the county. Essentially, we have staff over at Treasury that are receiving taxes for the city anyway. And so, I think as far as I know, every school district and county that have a city in it have their city team do the tax collection for all 3 entities, and they consequently pay the city for that. Loose ballpark, I believe we'd be looking at getting about $45,000 from the county and about $60-some from the school district. Those are not exact numbers, because unlike the past where we just said, you're paying, this is what you're paying, instead we're moving to a model where it's essentially pay for what you get. So we send a bill, they pay us $1.50 for that bill, and then a 1/4 or a 0.5% commission on the payment being returned. So it'll be calculated later in the year, and we'll send them an invoice. That is consistent with how those 2 entities already pay their tax collectors, and so essentially we're moving to the same model and just making it contractual.
Yeah, those IGAs will need to be approved also by the district and the county, so I think the Showers Field agreements, they can be passed and signed tonight or whenever they're ready. I think the IGA, we should probably have them
Come back to it.
officially pass it at the next meeting on the 18th.
Okay. And you'll have, I know I sent this stuff over to you like 2 hours ago, but. So,
I'll get it to you soon.
okay.
Hey, Ben, One question.
Because then we can even get a draft,
We have a question by
we can
Bill.
even get the draft to their solicitor and have them review, so we can, hopefully everybody can get executed still this month.
Okay.
I know we're doing the Shower Field agreements right now. Where are we for the Little League? It's been out there for the last several months.
Oh, goodness.
Are we getting close? Cause I know ball season's coming. Did Jason get a chance to look at it? I think that's where we were last time.
I think that we actually, the ball is in Little League's court. They were going to, we sent them a draft agreement, and they were gonna have a board meeting and discuss it and get back to us, and I have not heard anything from them.
Could you see if we can get something for 2 weeks, that way,
Yeah.
cause spring's gonna be here, unfortunately.
Yep.
I hope spring.
Yeah, you know.
I was gonna say something about the road. So, what I would like to do is break down the motions. I think we can agree that the Penn State and Dubois School District Shires Fuel Agreement, we can take as one motion.
Hey, how
Yep.
long is the PSU agreement for, since
Just
they're
a-
not gonna?
What, it's 1 year.
You're right here. Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Mark makes a motion, second by Bill, on Showers Field for Penn State and Dubois Area School District. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same signature. Passed. The IGA School District and County Tax Collection, I'll look for a motion on that.
Postpone.
We're gonna postpone.
Postpone.
Yeah, don't even need one.
We have to wait till I get back.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna.
Next meeting.
I'll make that a motion, postpone.
That's the thing. Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
To postpone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make motion.
I'll do that. I'll second.
Mike makes a second to that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed. Capital purchase of two F-250 trucks for the fire department 2026-02. Motion is F-250 number 12026-02. And number 2 is an F-250 2026-02. So moved, discussion. So moved by Mike,
Second.
second by Bill. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same, motion passed. Revision to the industrial utility billing rates for 2026.
So when we asked, for you to approve the utility rates back, I believe it was on Consolidation Day, we missed, or I'm not entirely sure what happened, but we were asking to add an industrial rate essentially. We're gonna need to do some more research on how the conversion went from old Sandy Township and Old City utility bills into the new city's utility billing system. It's a little convoluted, it's a lot convoluted. And we would really like to streamline how that happens, but we passed a resolution, as you know, that set a residential and it set rates by usage, so anything under 1,000 gallons and anything above 1,000 gallons. And yet, when we talk about things, we talk about it more as residential, commercial, and industrial. And so we are going to need to fix how the system actually, to complicate things further, the accounting system lists it by the size of the pipe, which we don't even track. We track by usage. So as you can see, we've got like 3 different models of how we're supposed to be billing, and it's convoluted. But there's really only a couple industrial users that break 1 million. And so what we're planning on suggesting tonight is to revise Resolution 2026-18, specifically Section 1, Part A, to add a third section. So right now, it's 0 gallons to 1,000, 1,000 to 100,000. And we're saying, could you please add 1 million plus? There's only a couple that would be affected by that, and we're asking that that be set at 550 rather than 750. And essentially, that's just saying, if you're using millions of gallons of water, you get an additional, I'll call it a break, I suppose.
what happens to the people between 100K and $1 million?
I'm sorry, yes, you're right. It should be up, usage in excess of 100,000 to like a million and above is what we had modeled before. So there may even be a future one, but for now, we're saying above 100,000 would be 550 per 1,000 gallons. Is that accurate, Joe? The best, for today.
It is today.
Until we can find a better way to get the accounting system to do what we want it to do.
We make no consideration of service size in billing?
There is on the meter size, they are charged a different maintenance fee. Right, exactly. It's a maintenance fee is dependent on meter size. Yes, but usage is, the rate they pay is dependent on usage. So as you can see, it's very confusing in getting that data from two different systems merged. What we've reviewed so far is we're comfortable that that does not go below the amounts that we anticipated receiving within the budget. We might be able to fine tune those amounts a little bit more once we get better usage data and make sure that everything's being reported correctly within the system.
So we're looking to add a third section for the million and above, basically.
100,000.
100,000.
100,000.
I'm sorry, it is another, so it's zero to 1,000. Or zero to
100,000
100,000
above gets a break, yes. Yeah, and there are very few customers that actually meet, it's 100,000 a month,
Right,
just to be clear. That's-
yeah, right.
Question, does that cover our cost? Okay.
Yeah,
I just don't want to shortchange.
that is how the budget was modeled.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, like, it's so confusing, because we built the budget based on usage. And then found out that the accounting system was based on something else. And so, that's why this is,
We have some work to do.
yeah, we still have a lot of work to do to figure out how to refigure, I suppose, the accounting system to meet what we budgeted. But this is one step in making that happen. And gets us so that we can send the bills tomorrow.
So if I understand now, let's make sure we're all on the same page. This new section is for 100,000 gallons a month and above. Joe?
Yes.
Nod your head like,
Yes.
thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll look for a motion on that.
So move.
By
Second.
Bill, motion by Bill and seconded by Shirley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed. Thank you very much. We'll now move into the closing of our meeting with our public comments, and we will start. Deb Macklin.
Good evening. Deb Macklin, Monroe Street. At the January 21st meeting, city council meeting, city manager Ben Kafferlin highlighted a near-term cash flow issue while asking council to approve bills so payments could be made as funds become available. Mr. Kafferlin's quote continues, "First of all, on the bills, we don't necessarily have the cash to pay all of those bills today, so we are asking for approval so we can kind of pay them on a rolling basis for being judicious on how that happens. Thanks for that approval." This motion was made, seconded, and passed unanimously with no discussion by sitting council. It is confusing to me how we are not clamping down on our spending at this time. Our present budget was helped out by timber sales and asset dispositions, which will not occur yearly. What happens next year? Why are we moving forward with talks of a new fire hall, vehicles for the fire department, $20,000 given to our downtown group? Are all of these priorities at this point in our new city? I love our fire department and downtown renovations as much as the next person, but we need to put a stop to, at this time, to all unnecessary spending while we have homeless walking our streets trying to stay warm with nowhere to go. For the record, this is not a statement wrapped in hate or negativity. This is called reality. And it is harsh and it needs addressed sooner than later. With this new rolling basis of paying bills now being used, at the top of my list of concerns is making sure our city of workers payroll is being satisfied first. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Linda London, she has no description of topic.
I just wanted to verify with you, Mr. Mayor, that you said you were going to slow down when you speak, and I'm zooming, so that I can get in. And the last timing I did was like 3 minutes and 15 seconds, so bear with me.
Am I doing better?
You are doing better.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So do you have a description of the topic, or is that what you want to talk about?
No, it's about a bill that I received.
Oh, okay.
My name is Linda London, and I'm here to speak about the discrepancies with the billing of our refuse service. I read in the Courier Express on January 21st that the Dubois Council consolidated with waste management agreements. In that article, it stated that the proposed rate is to be $22.85 per month for regular service and $19.85 for senior citizens. After reading that article, I checked our recent bill and we were charged $22. I had assumed that we were overcharged simply because we may have been overlooked on the senior citizens roster. The following day, I called the city building to request that my household be placed on the senior citizen list because apparently there had been an oversight with our bill. The employee had no idea of the changes in the billing prices. She told me that she would check things out and get back to me, which didn't happen. I had to make another call to find out what she had learned. She was told to tell me that my bill would be $22 as a senior because it would help cover administrative fees. My response to her was that in the same article, Dubois already would be receiving $10,000 per month paid quarterly for contract administrative fees, so that was not an acceptable response. Apparently, Mr. Cafferlin felt it was important to try to explain the waste fees after residents raised questions about the discrepancies. In the January 24th issue of the Courier, he stated that Waste Management charges the city $22.85, but the city in turn charges the residents $30. Seniors are charged $19.85, but the city bills residents $22. He goes on to explain how the upcharge is necessary to help offset the city's responsibility for billing, customer service, those administrative fees that were previously mentioned. And now the fee paid by Waste Management to the city is $11,669 per month. That is approximately $139,000. But remember, 3 days previous to this explanation, he said the city received $10,000 per month. And yet we all are upcharged to help with administrative fees. Are any of you confused yet? You all voted to accept this. Did you know there were other fees that would be charged to your constituents and yourselves? All senior citizens are receiving a 38% increase for this bill. Yes, I am currently able to pay my share, but there will be some who cannot afford this increase. And I fear this is just the beginning of the increases to come. If every bill I receive increases by 38%, my financial position will certainly change. And this is not about me, it involves every citizen in this new city of Dubois. I also would like to know how legal it is to charge for past services used in December, but the fee was voted on in January. The rates you all voted on and unanimously approved for waste management fees occurred at a January meeting, but our December bill used the new rate. I keep reading and hearing the word transparency, and as a citizen, I'm trying to be responsible, observant, and aware, as should each of you with every paper that is given to you.
Thank you.
Know exactly what you're voting for.
Thank you. Thank you. Kim Mauer. And, yes, Kim.
Good evening. I'm Kim Mowry. I'm a resident of Sykesville, but I'm a taxpayer in Dubois. Tonight I represent the Homeless Coalition. It's a newly formed organization called Giving Hope in Dubois. In Dubois, we pride ourselves that our community is a beautiful and safe place to raise our children with low crime rates. We have a thriving downtown, excellent school district, a beautiful city park, and exceptional ball fields. We also can be proud that Penn Highlands is the largest medical facility between Pittsburgh and Geisinger. However, a national statistic shows that 10% of our neighbors are living below the poverty line. And many of our residents are just one crisis away from living on the street. There, but for the grace of God, go I. Homelessness is not just a tragedy, but it's also a business barrier. Unaddressed homelessness leads to increased emergency service costs with police and EMS. It creates friction in public places that can deter foot traffic for local retailers. We aren't here to ask for a handout. We're here to present a coordinated professional strategy to improve our city's commercial and social health. Our group, Giving Hope in Dubois, is in the process of forming a professional, multi-tiered organization which will be modeled after the successful Housing First, their federal Housing First initiatives. For example, we want to help the homeless get IDs, cards, and clear their minor warrants so they can actually apply for a job and become self-sufficient members of our society. We're currently coordinating a direct distribution of backpacks full of supplies and warm clothing so that the homeless people can survive and feel the warmth of God's kindness. We've even taken our Blackstone, some members have taken our Blackstone grill through showers filled over the bridge and along the walkway to give free hot food to the homeless. Our ultimate goal is this: we're working to move people from sidewalks into stable housing units, which stabilizes our neighborhoods and local economy. A city that manages its most vulnerable population is a city that is open for business. It reduces the burden of our local police and keeps our storefronts welcoming. How the city council can help. Warming stations. The homeless are at risk of hypothermia due to the Arctic temperatures this winter. In today's society.
3 minutes.
Okay.
3 minutes. Do you have a close real quick?
Yes, a close. When we solve homelessness, we aren't just helping individuals, we're protecting the Dubois business climate. Let's build a more stable city together. God is on our side.
Thank you very much. Made it under the wire.
That 3 minutes goes quickly.
It does go quick, absolutely. Dave Lombardo.
Yeah, Dave Lombardo, Treasure Lake. What I'd like to talk to the council about is, I live in Treasure Lake, and me and some of my neighbors just do not feel comfortable that we have the police protection we're paying for. Treasure Lake residents are paying about 40% of the revenue coming in, so out of the police budget, that's $2 million. I believe that they can come in and give us 24/7 patrol. At least 2 patrol cars. And I'd be willing to work with Chris and talk with him about it. I've had issues, and a lot of people have. I'm not gonna get into, people trying to knock my door down and not getting anything from our security people. They don't even come out and investigate. I gotta go out there after my security cameras show they all left, and my lights go on, and I have to check my perimeter. I'm not doing that no more. I mean, I tell everyone, call 911, don't call security. I believe you can have the police come in and patrol our roads. And I assume when they're doing when they're doing the city, the Dubois, everybody, they go through the mall. I'm sure they've drove through the mall parking lots, and I don't want to hear you're private. I want police protection. I want a police presence, and I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to keep pushing. If you can show me some legality that we cannot get that, then show it to me. But again, we shouldn't have to call. I want prevention. We shouldn't have to just call. And we have people speaking up, We got bars in there, we got liquor licenses. My understanding is we gotta let the public in because of those liquor licenses. So we are basically open to the public. So I'm beseeching you all, unless you can explain it and explain the legality, I want police protection. And as a resident, a taxpayer, and the others in Treasure Lake, we have every right. Again, if you take the 40% out of the $5 million budget, that's $2 million. Not asking for the $2 million in protection. So,
Mike,
I like to hear some kind of response.
my comment is, did you go to the Treasure Lake Board?
I'm going to you.
Did you start there? That's it,
I
that's all?
talked to board members.
Thank you very much. Did you go to their board?
I've talked to the
Did you
board.
go to their board?
I
Yes
will
or
be
no?
talking to the board.
Yes or no, did you go to the board?
Not as a whole.
Thank you very much.
I'm
Pam
a
August.
citizen, so I.
Pam August.
Hi, I'm Pam August from New Dubois. First of all, I just would like to thank, if I say this incorrectly, please forgive me, the Public Works Department for the awesome job they did with street cleaning in the last 2 weeks, and I understand that they're still moseying around. I had a little issue on one of the Dubois streets that involved the police department. Dispatch 113 and Officer Doherty. I just want to give kudos because they came through and solved a little bit of a difficult problem. The firemen, I went out and kind of tried to shovel one of the hydrants. Well, forget that. The firemen came through, they cleaned out the hydrants in case of a fire. I wanted to give a shout out for that. So Public Works and Maintenance, snow removal, thank you. Also whoever came and took care of the Evergreen Street matter, thank you. Thank you on behalf of your department, dispatched firemen hydrants. And Corby, who sent me in the right direction a couple of times. So as of this moment, I'm very satisfied with Dubois.
Rats,
Thank
you took my closing argument. Rats.
Sorry.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
Nancy Moore.
Gotcha. No, got it. I just have to, City Council's appointment of an environmental advisory board was very timely. And the fact is, the garbage dump has raised its ugly head again. And the threat of rail traffic carrying New York garbage through our city is as unacceptable today as it was 30 years ago. It's the same thing all over again. I thought I would never live to see it after we killed it in the 90s. The first step in the process is an application for a subdivision on the Frano property in Washington Township. It's a piece of land that I am told involves Sandy Township, now Dubois. As an adjoining municipality, Dubois citizens and elected officials need to be informed on land use issues that affect our city, and they have a right to be heard. There's a hearing for the subdivision is on the agenda for the Washington Township meeting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, February 10th at the Municipal Building on 830 Airport Road. The vote will not be taken until, of course, the next regular meeting because that's a hearing and they don't generally vote after the hearing. But I just want Dubois to be informed. I'm not asking for anything from them except support, and support for the people who would be affected by the garbage coming in from New York. There are, the new application has not been made yet, but this is the first step. And I hope you can hear me, because I was having trouble hearing the rest of you.
We heard you, Nancy. Thank you very much. I have no other public comments on my sheet. Therefore, we will move to board member comments, and Bill, we'll start with you.
Just want to thank all the employees for going through the storm. I think everybody did a marvelous job getting the streets cleaned. And I don't think much was going on. Gerzelli, did we have much? Chris?
Yeah, we had lots of accidents.
Did you?
Yeah.
But nothing major. I know the fire, we had a little bit and nothing outlandish. But just a reminder to the citizens, if you could help us, please clean out your hydrants. We ran into a little issue up at Treasure Lake. We had a fire. We had to dig one out. Took another 15 minutes before we could get hooked up. So just, even 5 minutes just to get it cleaned out would help us considerably.
Thanks, Bill. Mike?
Yes, I would like to just comment this way. There were comments from before, and I really don't agree that there was no discussion. There was very limited discussion. But I would like to see, and I call this a cash crisis that we are in. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing, paying half the bills. I would like in the future, when we get the payable list, I also want to see the unpayable, which you're holding back, if you have any that you're holding back on. We have to control that. Not only what we spent, but we're responsible to spend. I do believe now we're paying bills from 2025, correct? Still.
Yeah, Mr. Summer.
We're not on the accrual system, but we should be managing from the accrual system.
May I speak to that for a minute, please?
Lisa would like to respond to that.
Oh,
Is that
certainly,
fine?
I'm hoping you will.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we just last week got Edmund switched over from our old system into fully developed new system. So typically you will see good financial reporting in your packet. You will see all those bills lists, all our cash balances. So we will have that to you at the second meeting this month.
2 weeks from tonight, we'll have that.
Yep, cause we're trying to get all the information that happened in our old systems moved into the new system. And I kinda was telling Barry about this last night. We didn't do a soft opening. We didn't do we're not a startup. We're a big bang. We went from this to this. And so we're just trying to get all those pieces put together. And so as we do these manual entries that have happened over the last 3-4 weeks and put them into the new system properly, we'll get you all of that information going forward.
And may I ask, at this moment, do you have any idea of the amount of bills you are holding?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't have, we just talked about that today and we put in our calendar tomorrow to go through all the cash balances, what still has to be transferred from the old city, the old C&D into our new banking, so that we can look at all of that very holistically.
Good. Next meeting, we will have that,
Yep.
correct? Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Mike?
That's enough.
Thank you very much. Down to you, Dick.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight on a very cold night. But I want to say I do appreciate what the Public Works has done and the fire departments and all that. And I saw people up at Treasure Lake digging out those hydrants that was put out. And I agree with Mr. Lombardo. Treasure Lake does put a lot into this community, and we get very little, if anything, from it. And we need to come to some kind of agreement where Treasure Lake is treated not like the red-haired stepchild, but part of the community and appreciated for what we bring to the table. And Mr. Lombardo has talked to me about police protection, so, and I am on the Treasure Lake board.
Thank you. Sam?
No comment.
Mark?
And I would like to address Mr. Lombardo's concerns. Any Treasure Lake resident is entitled to the same emergency services as any other resident in the city of Dubois. There's no barrier or distinction for police, fire, or EMS. Chris, maybe you can look into if they think there's fewer police patrols up there than what the rest of the community gets?
Just let me say we do patrol Treasure Lake every day. That is part of a new patrol zone. Once, and I did talk to Mr. Whitaker last week and the president of the board about police protection in Treasure Lake. Once our force gets up to numbers, we have Treasure Lake and Sebula broken down into a patrol zone. And once our numbers are established, we plan on putting 2 officers in Patrol Zone 3, which is Treasure Lake and Sebula. We do not handle any traffic violations up there. That we cannot do. But we do patrol just as much as anywhere else in the new city. So I did take a little offense to your comment that we're not up there. We are up there. We're up there quite a bit.
Well, I didn't mean any offense to you guys. I mean, I've been supportive of that. I just don't see it. I don't see.
Thank you.
The patrol, so.
Thank you. Chris?
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Any more?
No, sir.
Thank you. Mark, finished? You still going?
I'm still going, so.
3 minutes.
I got time for it?
Yes.
Kudos to Public Works as well. I know that Sunday was a tough day, everyone out early in the morning and working right through the night, but we pulled through. I'm done, Gary.
You're done. Shirley?
I also want to thank Public Works for all that they did throughout the entire city and in the downtown. Had several business owners come up to me, thanking me, and I said, gotta extend that to Scott and his crews. Very much appreciated. Also, the fire department, shoveling out those hydrants. I do want to remind, especially here in our downtown, business owners, whenever you're hiring people to plow and you're directing where to put the snow, do not have them place it over top of hydrants. Because I had to contact a couple businesses over the past couple days to redirect where they are instructing their plow services for where to place the snow. That just makes problems all that much more difficult. So, but thank you.
You're fine, go ahead.
I just want the floor after you, that's all.
Oh, okay. No, I just want to say thank
Like
you,
baseball
and just a
players.
reminder to people to be cognizant of what is in the way of where you want the snow being piled, because it just makes things more difficult for the fire department, so, thank you.
Ben? Ben?
Yeah, a few quick things, in part addresses to public comment, but also a few things I just wanted to highlight in the reports on. First of all, Rec Authority, we're planning on voting on, bringing that to you for a vote on the March 18th meeting. We need a 30-day comment period. We do still need names of people that would like to be inaugurating board members of the Recreation Authority. As a reminder, the Recreation Authority's purpose is to set the policy, essentially govern the use of the pool, the fields, and so forth, so that they can be really specialized and not necessarily bring a lot of minutia to the city council, but really have people that are experts in that field of recreation to sort of govern that. So it's an important committee. We currently have one person that has raised their hand and asked to be on it. We would like 4 more. So if you can think of somebody that would be a good candidate, please send their name my way. Next, the Governance Committee had a meeting immediately preceding this meeting. I wanted to thank the board members for a good and lively discussion about that. We talked about a lot of things, particularly the difference between fixing things between an ordinance and by a policy. And so a lot of the things that came up, we'll end up writing some policies to address rather than kind of changing the charter, which is good. I'm glad that they brought those ideas to the table. The next meeting will be on the 4th of March. And at that meeting, they can bring more things for us to figure out. And then we're also gonna have hopefully a list of kind of minute specific wording changes and such, and then hopefully report back, we will report back on the 4th, kind of high level, and then have potential changes to the administrative code, inform the code that is being drafted right now by general code. So things going well on that front. I don't have an update yet on the Environmental Advisory Committee, except to say that we're drafting those documents, correct, Jason? Yeah, he's nodding yes. In your packet, you saw early on a letter from me to the Redevelopment Authority. A couple of you on council and a couple of the board members for the authority raised a question, which is essentially, okay, you're paying us this money, but what's the success metric that you're looking for? And so we drafted this, I think it ended up being 10 points of things that we were asking the Redevelopment Authority to track. And you'll note that I was, I think, comprehensive on a holistic view of economic development and redevelopment and asking them to track things, but I did not say, for instance, apply for 5 grants, because I didn't want them to be kind of scrounging for a specific grant when, let's say, we want them to go after one really big one that's gonna take 100 hours to apply for. So we left it really kind of loose so that they're tracking key performance metrics and can report back at the end of this year as to what they did with that time and how successful they were, without really kind of hamstringing them to, we want you to do this specifically. And the fruit of that is already bearing. I mean, there have been several grant applications that have gone out by the Redevelopment Authority. They are tracking, they're kind of when someone approaches us about an economic development lead, we forward it to them. And so who knows what opportunities are gonna come our way, which is again why I didn't say this is the prescribed number, but I did give areas in which I thought they should pursue. Feel free to read that letter. If there are revisions that you want, things added or something like that, feel free to refer them my way. But that letter is essentially an MOU between us as the city and the Redevelopment Authority for what we expect out of that contract. Also, just to disclose, I signed off on an update to the janitorial service agreement. That was in your packet, just for FYI. You also got a Meals on Wheels request. I believe physically you also received letters. Just wanted to highlight that they're specifically requesting that city council members volunteer some time and resources towards that. And then I wanted to explain briefly, when I say that we're having a cash crunch, for instance, and the question then is, well, then how are we paying our bills, and why are you spending money on things like fire trucks, for instance, like the F-250s that we purchased tonight? And the answer is, there's this fun thing called fund accounting, and essentially we're saying that there are multiple funds that the city owns and governs. When I said we were having a cash crunch, it's specifically related to the general fund, which is the unrestricted thing that we spend all the money on. So for instance, when we say we do have the money to buy these 2 F-250s for the fire department, that's because it's coming out of the fire department's fund. So I just wanted to clarify that it's not like we can't pay our bills right now. Is that we're borrowing from other funds, such as the Capital Reserve Fund, in order to pay those general fund expenses until tax revenues come in. And this is more efficient than what other communities do, where they take out what's called a tax revenue anticipation note, a TRAN. Here, what we're doing is just borrowing internally so that we're not having to pay interest rates. So we need to be careful, but it's not like we're unable to pay our bills right now. And the reason that, I said the words that I said was because I'm thinking from a fund accounting perspective, we don't have a lot of general fund dollars. The 2 communities did not bring a lot of unrestricted dollars to the table, but it's not like we can't pay our bills. And also related to the garbage, I just wanted to make sure that you all understand, if any garbage hauler were to contract with you individually, you would be paying a premium for them to be billing you and such. The reason that we're able to negotiate a lower rate for you is because we're already sending bills for water utilities, And so we can essentially tack that on, and it's efficient for us to do. And so that's a savings to the taxpayer that would otherwise be paying the garbage hauler significantly more. Now, that is not expenseless to us. We have staff time that goes into printing those bills. We have postage that goes into sending those bills. We have time that goes into receiving the payments and applying them correctly and everything. So that is where that premium goes, is towards literally sending and collecting. And I'm telling you, because we're already doing that for water and sewer, we're doing it more efficiently than anyone else could. And that's why we're actually saving money, but we still have to recover it somehow. The question of, like, was it disclosed on your agenda on January 5th? You'll see two documents. Here's the resolution number 18, which set the utility bills. You'll see that those numbers, what we're charging people, is the Appendix A in that resolution. And then later on, you pass an agreement with Waste Management, which specifically states what we're paying the garbage hauler. So it's all disclosed and available in those packets and was publicly available. And I wish that perhaps I had known that was gonna be an issue and we could have clarified it immediately in that meeting. But I guess to those of us that live and breathe this, it's obvious that we somehow have to recover the amount of time and postage and printing and office expense costs that go into that. So if you have any questions, feel free to direct them my way. And I don't want to throw Zach under the bus, but he lives and breathes that too. And so if you can't get a hold of myself or Lisa, feel free to call the codes department. Any questions for the management team?
Mark, I want to back up. Mrs. Moore brought up a very good point about the waste transfer station.
Right.
Anything we can do to lend help to Washington Township? Might not hurt to make a phone call if we haven't already.
I think if council wanted to take action, you could do that via proclamation. I mean, you could direct us to send them a letter, support or whatever you're, as long as you're clear about what you're supporting.
Can we do that at our next meeting? It's not an agenda item.
Isn't your meeting this week?
Yes.
I mean, I think it would be perfectly acceptable to amend your agenda for something like that. You're not spending money, you're not saying anything contractually, you're just stating an opinion of your body.
It was, as she pointed out, a very real thing 25, 30 years ago. I don't know if the other board members are inclined to support Washington Township.
Yeah, I am.
It don't hurt. Do you support Washington Township's efforts to try to hold that garbage? You'll support that?
I'll make that motion.
To amend the agenda?
Do you want to amend the agenda to make that
Put it on
motion?
there.
That's-
I'll second Dick's motion to amend the agenda.
All those in favor of amending the motion dealing with Washington Township and sending a letter for their support, say aye. Opposed, same. I'll look for a motion that we have our management team draft a letter of support for Washington Township
To
To
oppose.
to oppose the.
Because they might vote, I think from what I read, they had two supervisors that were for it. So-
Yes.
So we want to make sure that we're not supporting them.
No, we're opposing. That the city of Dubois is opposed to the
Bring in a landfill.
bringing in the trash by rail.
No, this is something different. This is landfill.
This is landfill.
Landfill.
The landfill.
Probably truck. Well, probably they use the rail.
All right, let's get somebody to clarify the motion then, please.
I make a motion that we have the management team send a letter opposing future landfill in Washington Township.
That's
Second.
what he brought here last week.
Second by Mike. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion passed. Thank you very much. My turn. Unless the management team has something else. Scott? Joe? Anybody else? Chris? No? Zach? Nothing? No. I also would like to thank Public Works. I know the downtown, they cleared mountains of snow, and they spent countless hours. And I know watching the waste management vehicles trying to get through, and our Public Works made it happen. Our police patrolling our area in the snowstorms, he did a marvelous job. And Dave, I didn't want to get argumentative with you, but I will tell you this. I sat with a meeting, I don't like to use the word I. We sat with a meeting with the president of Treasure Lake, and the discussion centered around police at Treasure Lake. So just so you know, that is happening. There are things in the works. And I think Chris outlined some things for the president of the Treasure Lake Board and to clarify what we can and cannot do. And I truly appreciate it. I thought it was a wonderful meeting. Chris, do you need to add anything else to that comment? But you need to know that, Dave, that there are things happening, and we may not bring it out immediately, but the discussion is happening. And I will say this, our board, when we came together, we are coming as a we, not an I. And I think that is a difference that we are making. And we are working very hard to be servants for you. So with that, thank you, Public Works. Scott, thank you. Joe, the fireman, especially on the fire at Treasure Lake. It was horrible, but you responded. It was wonderful. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Bill to move, second by Mark. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you for your attendance. Standing room only.
If you're ever in one, remember 3 simple steps.
Check for injuries. Call the police. Then call Cataldo's Collision.
Because Cataldo's Collision isn't just any body shop. They're auto body specialists.
At Cataldo's Collision, they work for you, not the insurance company.
From certified technicians to pickup and delivery service, they use modern technology to get you back on the road fast, with your car restored to like new.
Cataldo's Collision in Dubois. When it matters most, they do magic.